Are you a student who is currently taking up a research subject? Are you having a hard time understanding the textbook discussions on creating an effective research paper? Are you not satisfied with the discussions conducted by your research instructor? If your answer to these questions is a big yes, you are watching the right video. Good day mga kabolero. Here is a video to help students undergoing research or thesis writing and use the available resources online or offline to complete a research paper. This may not be a comprehensive discussion of the research process. However, this will tackle the major components of composing the sections of a research paper and some best practices. This video is the first part of the topic, focusing on creating the first chapter of a research paper. Examples are also provided as reference to those students who have difficulties finding a guide throughout the process. So let's get started. The very first step of researching is the conceptualization of the problem. This part gives general statement or statements about a field of research to provide the reader with a preview of the problem to be reported. Most of the time, ideas comes or about a problem comes in when we experience them firsthand. I can remember saying that necessity is the mother of all inventions. So we usually use our senses and observation to perceive and understand the cause of these problems. We think of ways to solve the problem because we want to end the negative experiences that we have suffered or encountered in our lives. Here comes the purpose of the research. So one of the pitfalls in the problem conceptualization is that researchers tend to think of solving everything. Remember, your knowledge is not that vast enough to solve the great problems of the world. So in order for you not to overthink, make sure to observe and notice the small problems that are out of your reach. Most of the time, big problems came from small ones, and you will be surprised in the end that after solving the problems or the smaller problems, you are slowly understanding the bigger picture and beginning to obtain spur of ideas on how to break down the big problems in the society and able to solve them. As a native of Camaligalbay in Bicol, I have perceived the huge issues that pili growers and farmers about low pili production, and they usually encounter that after harvesting the fruits. I also experienced the tedious process of extracting the pili kernel of the nut from its covering. Moreover, most of the relatives that I have in Bicol are pili processors, and their dilemma is the slow progress of the technology in the province in terms of the post-harvest mechanisms. So this is the huge problem that our province is experiencing today. And I cannot solve this problem with just one initiative, right? So to solve the problem, let's check on the succeeding slides on what are the things that I can do from its core to be able to solve the bigger problem. To give insights and practical application of the topics, the best practices to be presented, I will provide examples based on my previously created master's thesis entitled Automated Pili Fruit Sorting Device. In the succeeding slides, you will learn the steps that I performed to begin this research venture. First, we usually make sure that we provide all important information by disclosing the 5 Ws in our statement of the problem. In the investigative writing and research, we have the 5 Ws that are used to gather information about a story or subject matter. In fact, most writers don't consider a story to be complete unless all 5 of the Ws has been addressed. The 5 Ws are the who, what, when, where, and why. And these questions or question words allow students, writers, and researchers to understand the full scope of the topic being discussed. And many of these words can be used in questions to tease out the information. You may think this is a very basic idea since we encountered these terms in our elementary grade. However, this ideas is relevant in almost all aspects of research. First is Who? Who is a person, organization, a demographic, or a group of individuals? What corresponds to an event, a theory, or a discovery? When is a time span, a century, like a century, or a period of time? Where is a place, a country, region, or any defined geographic space? And why is the description of the significance of the topic? I will no longer show a generic example to elaborate on this idea, but I will be focusing on the problem that I have implemented in my master's thesis. So let's read through and locate the five W's in this passage. So let's read through it. Bicol, Philippines is famous not only because of the majestic Mayon volcano, but also because it is one of the regions in Southeast Asia where the indigenous pili trees are growing. One of the precious products from the pili tree is the pili fruit. The pili fruit is green when young and turns into dim purple or black when ready for harvest. The pulp and the nut of the mature pili fruit are processed to make oil. Locals eat the pulp as vegetables and the nut as dessert. Due to the numerous products generated from the pili fruit, sorting them according to maturity is one of the laborious tasks the harvesters face. Sorting may take 2 to 3 seconds per pili fruit, and it also depends on the sorting skill of the person doing the task. Automated sorting of the pili fruit is necessary to mechanize and improve the production rate of the post-harvest processing in the region. So for those who are unfamiliar with pili fruits, here is a quick view of the pili fruit maturity and the products generated from them. On the right-hand side are the post-harvest activities, one of which is sorting. And looking at the picture, you may notice that after the fruits are removed from the twigs, there's a good mix of the ripe, the almost ripe, and the ripe fruits, and this is where manual sorting happens. So the first thing that you would notice on the statement is the setting of the problem. So going back to what we have read through, we are now digging into the detail and locating all the five W's. So it shows that the first W is the where, wherein in this case, it's the Bicol, Philippines, or the Bicol region in short. So this fact is also useful since we are setting the boundary of the scope in terms of the geographical space where we intend to implement our research. So the next one. The next W that we have encountered in the passage is the what. And the what here is the pili fruit. My research goal is to focus on the pili fruit and not on other parts of the pili, such as the pili tree or the leaves, the bark, and etc. And this idea also gives the reader emphasis on what to expect as researchers and product. Next. The third W that we bumped into is the who, wherein it's the pili harvesters. And these are the group of individuals or demographics who are directly experiencing the problem and will benefit from the research. We may think of other entities who might find purpose in our research, but those people or organizations are considered secondary. These ideas are necessary because we will be writing them down on the significance of the study portion of our research. Next, the fourth W that we came across is the when. The 2 to 3 seconds is the estimated time span of sorting the pili fruits according to their maturity. And one of the goals of the research is to create a prototype or device that can match or exceed the manual sorting rate using machine learning or artificial intelligence. And we will further discuss this when we dive into the method and the research instrument. And finally, the last W on the statement of the problem that I have shown is the why. The main reason why I came up on this research is to solve the problem regarding the manual ways of sorting the pili fruits, since it is the beginning of the post-harvest process, meaning right after the pili fruits are picked and removed from the twigs. The problem or the ultimate goal is to implement an automation or an initiative that it will better or improve the production rate of the pili in the long run. So I am not solving the entire problem about the low productivity, but I am solving a smaller bit of the problem, which is the sorting mechanism. So in summary, here are the locations of the 5 Ws on the statement of the problem. So you may pause the video if you want to check all the 5 Ws in this specific statement of the problem. So let me proceed to the next one. So here's another example of a problem which is not related to pili sorting, thus I have proposed as one of my intended research projects. However, I couldn't complete this research because it is more inclined to mechanical engineering design. So shout out to those mechanical engineering students taking research. You may think of a way on how to deal with this problem. So as a local of the Bicol region, one of the problems our community faces is the aftermath of typhoons in our main crops, especially rice. Typhoon seasons in Bicol region usually begins in August and ends in December. Due to the heavy rains, strong winds, and floods, the stems of the ready for harvest rice are bent. The bent stems of the rice became a great problem for the farmers and harvesters because they cannot use the rice harvester machine to do its job efficiently. Multiple grains fell off the ground or ran over by the machine, which results in a low productivity. What happens is that rice farmers and harvesters tend to go back to the manual method of harvesting using the reapers, which costs lots of human effort, time, and resources. So, to create an effective rice harvester designed to solve this problem, there is a need to thoroughly revisit the commercially available patents or inventions used for harvesting rice. So, highlighted in yellow are the terms indicating the 5 Ws to show the location and how it was constructed on the statement of the problem. So, beginning with the where here is the Bicol region again, because that is my goal for my research. I will be dedicating my time and my effort in solving problems in the Bicol region. What here is rice. When is the typhoon season in the province, which is usually from August to December. So who are the farmers and the harvesters? And why is the purpose and significance of the topic, which is to create a new and effective rice harvester that would solve the low productivity issues of the current available rice harvester. So before I end this video, I wanted to share a great application useful in constructing your research paper. I can say that I may not be able to complete my research on time without the aid of this app. What I'm pertaining to is Grammarly. And Grammarly is not only better at picking up spelling and grammar mistakes, however, it provides suggestions to rephrase and have a more concise statement to avoid plagiarism issues. So to show you powerful or how powerful Grammarly is, let me share a quick example for everyone's reference. So what's shown on my screen right now is the statement of the problem that I have presented previously about the automated Billy food sorting device. And I will be showing you how Grammarly is effective in terms of detecting incorrect grammars or modify the conciseness of our statement. And I opened up Microsoft Word, which already has the plugin for the Grammarly. And I'm now opening the Grammarly to be able to detect any erroneous grammar or anything that we can improve on our statement of the problem. So let's open this up. So let's wait for Grammarly to initialize and check our statement of the problem. So as you can see, there are blue lines on the page wherein it corresponds to something that can be modified or improved. The first one is this one. So the statement was, or your sentence may be unclear or hard to follow. So consider rephrasing. So this is very powerful since I myself think that my statement is already good to go, but See here, it has a like a rephrasing recommendation. So the recommended statement is Bicol, Philippines is famous because of the majestic Mayon volcano and because it is one of the regions in the Southeast Asia where the indigenous pillow trees are growing. Grammarly wanted to eliminate not only and then but and also, which is I think a more concise statement of the first sentence. So let me replace this one with the suggested or the recommended statement. So next is Philippines is underlined with red, meaning there's missing. Now the punctuation is missing, which is a comma. So let's click the correction. Next is the indigenous. So the article the is needs to be eliminated. So let's remove that one. And dessert needs an article, which I missed out, right? So a dessert. Next, the last statement needs rephrasing. So the recommendation was automated sorting of the pili fruit is necessary to mechanize and improve the post-harvest processing production rate in the region. So it looks like this is more appropriate when I read through it second time. So I will be using this one or selecting this one. And finally, last three. So hyphen is missing. And look at this one. No issues found. And this is a better way of presenting or showing the statement of the problem for our research paper. So that's how Grammarly will be able to help you in your research ventures. Now I'm going to reshare my other screen. All right. I hope you've learned something from this video. Please stay tuned to the upcoming uploads as I break down what to consider for effective research and share my best practices using concrete examples. Ako ang inyong Inhinyerong Bolero and see you on my next video. God bless everyone.